guys, it's the girl Victoria back to you with another review for Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 15, called Whiskey a No-No. Like I said, every episode thus far, this season is a no-no. We still not nowhere near close to decision day because we still got a whole couples retreat to get through. But since we're on this episode, we're just going to get started from the beginning. I was going to say where we left off, but from the beginning. So we are at 12 days until decision day. So we first have, they introduced Devon Franklin. He coming back for this episode. He don't even talk with all the couples, okay? So I guess he does one-on-one with a couple of the people and then like a couple at the end. So I don't know what their format is really. So he gonna start off with Jasmine. So he sits down with Jasmine to talk about all she been through thus far in her relationship and her marriage. And the only thing he suggests to her is that she needs to have a real open conversation with Airris and not to hold anything back. And if he rejects her, so be it. Because, she explains how she was bullied for 3 years. She never let her family, or not her family, her family know about anything. And it's just like, okay, you hold back, obviously, because you don't want to let them know what you're dealing with on your personal thing. But you grew or took so long to get to where you are now of confidence, and you're letting Airris' big-headed ass bring you down again. Like, why are we allowing someone who looks like that bring you down? You won pageants, homegirl. What did Airris win? Exactly. So I'm going to just need you to keep that same confidence and letting him know, listen, I'm the real prize here. You ain't no prize. I don't know where he get off thinking he's a 12. But I'm going to need her to bring that energy to Airris, okay? So whether she takes Devon Franklin's advice or not, I don't know. But at the same time, it's like, y'all know it ain't going to work. And then when I say y'all, I'm talking about the experts. Y'all know this ain't not going to work. But we're just going to still try to push the issue for them to work. We are in the home stretch, guys, okay? They don't need to work nothing out. So then moving on from that, we get Nicole and Chris. They talk on the couch. So this episode should have been called Nicole self-sabotaging, because every conversation with her, every scene with her is her self-sabotaging herself and trying to self-sabotage other people's relationships. So when she's talking with Chris, she's trying to tell him that, if she asks him to give her space, then, she doesn't necessarily want him to give her space. So then he's looking at her like, okay, well, that's kind of confusing. So then she goes on to say, well, if I ask you directly to give me space, give me that space. But if I'm saying, hey, I'm just going to go, be by myself on the couch, sometimes I need you to be like, oh, no, let's just hang out together. He's looking at her like she's crazy. I'm looking at her like she's crazy. I'm sure America is looking at her like she's crazy. And, I don't know if she looks at herself like she's crazy. I think she feels like she's justified in her reasoning. So I understand sometimes when you think things in your head, you think it's, makes sense. But to the average Joe out there in these streets, it don't make no sense. Because I'm one of them, because there's so many times I be saying something to my husband. And he's just looking at me like, what are you saying right now? What are you talking about? And then I have to kind of think, like, what did I say, like, word for word? And I'm just like, okay, I can see how that's, So I think in her head, she thinks it makes sense. But in actuality, Nicole, it don't make no sense. What you're trying to say. If you want to hang out with homeboy, just say you want to hang out with him. If you don't want to hang out with him, just say, listen, just give me my space. So I don't, let's not confuse the two. Because then that's what happens with, improper communication, which I feel like she has major improper communication. And then once again, like I said, she just self-sabotages everything. Every conversation is nothing ever unicorn and rainbows. It's always like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen if this happens? Like, she's prepared for doomsday because of her past, like she says. And I'm just like, girl, what is this? What is going on here? So, like she said, he tries to reassure her that he's not going nowhere. And, she tries to tell him like, oh, if you can't handle this, then you can leave. There's a door. So then that's when Chris was like, I'm not looking for no door. And then for me, I'm just like, I would be looking for all the doors that's available for me to go through, because I don't want to deal with this. Not with you, Nicole. I'm sorry. You crazy. So we then move on to Kirsten. She pretends like she's working out in the gym, because I'm just like, your hair's down, your makeup on, all stuff. You ain't really working out. You trying to, do your little bicep curls and all. It ain't doing nothing, okay? Because you was waiting for the phone call. You knew Shaquille's mom was gonna call you, so you wasn't really working out no gym. So Shaquille's mom FaceTimes her, and pretty much, I feel like Shaquille's mom was on the defense, understandably so, because that's her son. But she was just telling Kirsten, like, look, you need to be supportive for him. Because he be telling me something different, because Kirsten was trying to say, oh, I am supportive to him. But the mama was like, no, that's not from what I hear. So, maybe she is supportive in her mindset, way of thinking, but clearly it's not enough for Shaquille. And they just need to have that conversation, which I guess they have towards the end of the episode. So then nothing else comes from that. There's no conclusion, no resolution, no compromise on either part. We just move on to the next thing. Well, actually, it goes to commercial. But anywho, we move on to Jen and Cleena. They make catfish po' boy, more like Clint making the catfish po' boy. Gina just standing there and just observing. And they go out on the balcony to eat and, I guess converse a little bit. But there was nothing really much to take from it. We do see Gina having a little confessional, but I didn't even, to be honest, my eyes was on the screen as she was talking, but I wasn't registering anything she was saying, just for the simple fact that I know this is not going to go nowhere. I know they're just talking just for FaceTime, for face value, and all that stuff at this point. So there's no need for me to waste any really more breath on them, knowing it's not going to be anything. So then after that, we get to Devon Franklin. Now he's sitting down with Aris. So, of course, Aris is telling how his marriage is going and how he's not really attracted to Jasmine. So Devon asked the question if he wants to be more or get more attracted to Jasmine, which was, I thought was a fairly valid, good question. Aris said, yes, line ass. But, you can't really change. He don't say this word for word. I'm just about to paraphrase. But you can't really change specific physicalities because, he can't get any taller or shorter. So, he can't, even though technically she can make her booty more bigger for what he wants. But I guess for her stature, even if she got a bigger booty, it's probably not going to look good on her. He don't say none of this with what I just said. I'm just, based off of his mindset of what he says, like he likes in a woman and that Jasmine's not, I feel like he's thinking stuff like that. So that's why I'm just putting my own 2 cents of probably what he's thinking in his mind that he never, spoke out into words. But, that's just my personal opinion, what I think he was trying to say, but not say at the same time. So, therefore, once again, I said that's all excuses, but then I guess Devon suggests for him to verbalize to Jasmine what his commitment is to her. And for me, I'm just like, what is that going to do? I mean, I guess that helped towards the end of the episode. But for me, I'm like, that's really not going to do nothing because he could verbalize it. But at the end of the day, what happens on decision day and post-decision day, which I really feel like there ain't going to be no post-decision day for them. It's just going to be decision day and that's it for the marriage. That's it. We don't need to, like, why are we trying to drag this, guys? I don't know. Why are we trying to drag the inevitable? I feel like I said this before in another episode. Listen, it is what it is. He ain't attracted to her. He ain't going to get no attracted to her before decision day. And if he does, it's all going to be a facade. So let's just call it for what it is. Let them ride it through, I guess, because that's what we're doing with all the couples at this point. And then once the decision day comes, that's it. We done. So we move on to 11 days until decision day. Gina and Nicole, they get petties together. That's cute, I guess. Then we have all the couples, they go out together to a whiskey bar. I wanted to say a brewery, but I feel like that's more towards beer. That's not, would it be considered like a whiskey distillery? I don't know. So they go to a whiskey bar, and as they're sitting down tasting whiskey, I believe, Nicole, I guess, who's expert number 5 at this point, she brings up, when the girls, like, she said she's going to put Chris out on the spot that he's sore from playing baseball. Then the girls had a nice moment, and one of them, they really dug down deep and got emotional and said things about their relationship that they might not have told their spouse. So, of course, for me, I'm like, okay, so you, like, indirectly putting Jasmine out there on the spot without directly saying Jasmine's name. So then, of course, Jasmine's going to come out and say, okay, yeah, I did say this, and, had a very vulnerable moment. So, I guess then that's when Nicole feels the need to tell Aris and Jasmine that they need to try harder. And I'm just looking at her like, who are you to tell somebody else what they need to do when you have so many issues that you need to work on? So I think you need to focus on yourself and what you need to work on yourself, Nicole, versus looking at everybody else and telling them what they need to work on. So after she says that, that's when everybody wants to chime in to give them advice. And I understand that's really what the group outings are for. But for me, I just felt like it was kind of forced. Like, okay, don't look at what I have going on with myself and my relationship, but I'm gonna tell you what you need to do to better your relationship. Like, take y'all own advice, to be honest. So after they go through Jasmine and Airris, then I guess that's when we get to Shaq and Kirsten. Because when Shaq put in his 2 cents about him having mental health issues and going to therapy, then that's when what no, that's when Nicole once again wants to let Shaq and Kirsten know what they need to do, more so Shaq versus Kirsten, and tells Kirsten, apologizes to her, saying, listen, I'm sorry, Kirsten, I know you didn't want me to tell him, but like, Shaq, I'm gonna let you know, like, this is what she's been saying to me, and for you to do to be better. So, of course, now it kind of gets a little awkward and silent at the table. Shaq gets up, walks away. Kirsten goes after him. And I'm just looking at Nicole like, bro, like, why do you keep talking? Like, why do you keep talking? Like, I'm trying to understand for someone, who doesn't like people to say things to her, who always feels some type of way about herself, who always tries to self-sabotage her own relationship. Like, are you in such misery that you have to project all your issues on other people, and now you want to cause riffraff in other people's relationship? Because I feel like she's going to say, no, I'm just trying to help them. But it's like, how do you feel your outbursts and saying what you say and trying to point the finger and do all of this at the group outing? How do you feel like this is helping the relationship? Like, you're projecting your self-sabotagation of your own relationship on others. So, Nicole, I'm going to need you to work on yourself. You like, we're going to get to another scene of her, but like, you really need to, I hope you see this, the whole season, you watch this season, like, really analyze yourself to see, dang, what can I do better for me? So that way, when I get into such settings again, I'm not trying to just, do word vomit, hashtag mean girls, but to be saying all these things because it's very unnecessary. So when Kirsten goes check up on Shaq, all in a corner in the dark alley crying, he wasn't crying, but like in a dark, in a dark corner of outside or whatever, pouting or whatever. So I guess Shaq feeling some type of way that, she didn't, I guess, defend him because he's like, you didn't say nothing when Nicole said that. So Kirsten was like, you didn't even give me a chance to say anything. So, he's going ahead, pointing the finger at Kirsten, blaming her for all this crap. It's the same conversation, different episode. I really don't need to be going into detail about all that because for me, I'm just like, okay, can we go to the next thing? Because y'all always doing this. More so Shaq always trying to point the finger at Kirsten. Not saying Kirsten is innocent, but at this point, I am tired of these pointless conversations, pointless little, disputes, because it's not doing nothing for me. So nothing really happens, talking about he needs some support from her, and Kirsten wants to hug it out, so they kind of hug, they kiss, then they go back and they let everybody know what they got going on or their little issue that they have going on. So I guess they kind of help, and then it kind of turns to a lighter conversation of, everybody putting the pressure on Shaq to, make that move so that Kirsten can, give it in, give the panties, and they could consummate the marriage. So then that's when Shaq was just looking at Kirsten and was like, also, I need to be making the move. Did I make the move? And then she's just like, I don't know. You can tell her. I don't know what's going on. She talks with a light, high-pitched voice. So then that's when Shaq tells everybody that they have consummated the marriage. So everybody's like, so excited. Well, okay, cool. Good. Congratulations. We kind of already knew that. But okay, congratulations. Good for you guys. So then I guess after this is when they decide, okay, we're going to go and learn some line dancing, get some line dancing lessons, because I guess they were the only ones in the distillery bar, whiskey bar, whatever. So we have the one instructor, she's teaching them how to dance, so everybody's dancing, whatnot. And then when everybody's dancing, I guess, I don't know who pulled who. Airris said that the instructor pulled him, and so him and the instructor started dancing. So everybody's dancing with their spouse, other than Airris, dancing with the instructor, and Jasmine's just standing there kind of looking dumb. So I personally don't disagree with Jasmine. I can completely understand feeling some type of way, feeling lonesome, like the oddball out, that you're the only one that's not dancing with your spouse, and that your spouse decided instead to dance with the instructor. So in moments in the past, I was that person. Okay, I'm upset. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna walk out. I've done that numerous times. I've left. Me and my husband back when we were dating, still boyfriend and girlfriend. There will be moments where I be in my feelings hard, and I would get up. I would leave his house and I would go home. Cause that, and then the funniest part is I didn't even want to go home, but I was just really in my feelings. So I completely understand with her leaving. And of course, Eris goes after her, and he tries to apologize and say, he tries to make up a lot of excuses. I'm not gonna go all for what he said, but tried to apologize for dancing with the instructor, and tries to say she's not his type. When he said that, I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? For why would you even, say that she's not your, what does that have to do with anything? That's not even the point. It's just the principle that you didn't dance with your wife. You didn't have to say all of this, but I guess he was trying to make excuses so she don't feel too bad. But the damage was already done, Eris. Like, you already done too much damage this season already, and now you had the icing on the cake of you dancing with the instructor. So she don't really say nothing. They just get into the car, they go home, and homeboy Eris ends up sleeping on the couch. But in my head, I'm like, isn't there like a second bedroom that she could have went to sleep? Why are you sleeping on the couch, homie? Anyway, I don't listen. That's what. Okay, we get to 11 days until decision day. So Dr. Pepper visits Eris and Jasmine, and she cuts to the chase, asking if there's any possibility of a marriage between them. So then it goes to commercial for dramatic effect. Comes back from commercial for dramatic effect. Eris says yes. Jasmine appreciates that he said yes. And Dr. Pepper makes suggestions for them to connect better. Is it going to work? Probably not. But of course, they got to try to put their 2 cents in to make it work, because they know that the show is on the decline. They understand that the percentage of successful marriages versus unsuccessful marriages is a very successful marriages, unsuccessful marriages. So, they understand that they have to make something work. But at this point, we should already see bygones for what it is, that it's not going to work. But of course, it's under their contract, their personal contract with Lifetime, the producers or whatever, that they need to do everything to make it work, even though I don't feel like they're doing everything to make it work. Does that make sense? I don't know. But anywho, so after that, we get to Kirsten and Nicole. They go lingerie shopping. And of course, here we go, Nicole self-sabotaging. I understand she has body dysmorphia and asking herself if she deserves a man like Chris. Listen, Nicole, honestly, do you deserve a man like Chris? I mean, Kristen said no, but I just really feel like not at your current mindset. I feel like once you go to proper therapy, like extensive therapy, then your later self probably would deserve somebody like Chris. But right now, you don't really, I'm not going to say deserve, okay? You shouldn't really even be in a relationship at this point, because I just feel like you have a lot of self-worth issues that you need to work out first before you get in a relationship, because of the fact that you're self-sabotaging a relationship that really don't even have any issues. Like, you are the best couple of this season, and yet you still find problems of like, oh, is it going to work out because of what exactly? So, I mean, that's kind of a loaded question for me personally, but of course, Chris ain't going to tell you, no, girl, of course you deserve him. Yeah, of course. So then, of course, we're talking about Nicole not liking her body. Listen, Nicole, a lot of us, you would be surprised the percentage of people who don't like their body. They, for me, I could look at you and be like, Nicole, your body is banging, is amazing. Your body looks better than mine. But, other people could say, Nicole, you are so beautiful. But the thing that a lot of people need to realize is we can say someone looks beautiful in and out all day, every day, but if they don't feel it, it ain't gonna be it. Okay, 100,000 people could tell someone they're pretty, but if that person don't feel like they're pretty, then they're not pretty. You know what I mean? So it's just about Nicole gaining her own self-worth, self-confidence, all of that, to the point so she could see what everybody else sees. So that's something that Nicole needs to work on. Kirsten can tell her anything, all she wants, but Nicole ain't gonna see it until she sees it herself. Like, you telling her is not gonna help her see it. It's gonna have to be from within her that sees it. So anyway, see, she tries on some lingerie sets, and of course she self-sabotages again because I guess her boob sags a little bit. She likes to wear stuff that, not pokes, that pumps up her boobs, and I understand. Listen, but at the same time, Nicole, everybody's boob sags. There's no perfect boob unless they get cosmetic surgery. For the most part, most women, if not all, their boobs, if you got a little weight to them, it's going to trip a little bit when you take the bra off. It's going to trip. It don't matter. Cause your man's still gonna he's still gonna cup them breasts in his hand and do the suck on them. If Chris, I don't know if Chris do that. I wouldn't want to be a fly on their wall, to be honest with you. But you know what I mean? Like, guys don't care, especially if they like you. Listen, they gonna love all your imperfections that you see, because for them, they're not gonna look at it as imperfections. They're gonna look at it as like, ooh, that's more for me to love, more for me to grab, whatever the case may be. They gonna love it. There'll be societally unattractive people. They be getting guys, and guys be loving on them hard. So, Nicole, please get help. Okay, that's the moral of the story. Please get help. So after she tries on her little lingerie, anything else to take from them? No, Kirsten just tries to reassure her and tries to teach her how to be sexy. So is Nicole gonna take that advice? Probably not. But E for effort. Kirsten. After that, we have Dr. Pepper. She visits Gina and Clint. Dr. Pepper tells them to up their game. Dr. Pepper, there's no up of game to be happening. Ain't nothing gonna really happen between these two because it's over. Even Gina already telling her that, they're friend zoned. So let it be that. You should really be asking them, is this going to become a marriage or move forward, or can they just have their decision day now and be done? You should really be asking them, but you probably already know what it is, so you're just letting them slide by until the end of the season. But I guess she makes them hold hands and have them say nice things about each other. I'm like, that's fine and dandy, but like, we can already see the position on the couch. They're not even sitting next to each other, okay? They are friends. Don't let them just be friends, sharing an apartment, and that be that, okay? Anything else to take from that? No, that's it. There's nothing else. Like, why are we even trying anymore? Like, I understand why you have to do it, but for me and the audience, I think we agree that we're just over this season and just ready for season 17 at this point. And then next scene, we have Devon Franklin visits Kirsten and Shaquille, and he helps them work on their communication. That's it. There's nothing else to take. Last scene, we got Pastor Cal. I forgot about him. He comes visits Nicole and Chris, and we have Nicole self-sabotaging again, saying technically Chris didn't pick her. And I'm just like, Nicole, please get help. Please seek a therapist. I need you to be in therapy full time, because at this point, you're finding any reasoning to self-doubt this relationship. Like, okay, well, he didn't really pick me. So what? And you came on this show, you didn't really pick him either. But you love him. You love the pick that they chose for you. Like, I'm really trying to understand, Nicole, why are you like this? Like, I understand you've been through a lot in your past, but like, you just really are intense and a lot. And I think she said this from episode 1, but I'm exhausted and I only see you once a week. I can only imagine what Chris really feel like. He's not going to tell you, but I can only imagine what he really feel. Like, I'm sure he really feels like, oh my gosh, my wife really just needs to like calm down, like, and let this marriage happen. Because I just really, to myself, I'm just like, not Kirsten, but Nicole, come on. So Chris, once again, like I said, tries to reassure her. Technically, Nicole, he chose your name. So let's look at that. He picked you. Because he already imagined what his wife's name was going to be. And he said Nicole, which is your name. So can we just go with the flow and let the relationship flourish instead of trying to just downgrade it into like dust? Because that's what you're really trying to do. But of course, Chris has to put in overtime and tells Nicole, how much she means to him and she don't have to worry and that he loves her. Because, well, actually, he don't really tell her that at first. Pastor Cal had to ask the question. He was like, do you love her? So then that's when Chris was like, yeah, I do love her. So, now Nicole is through the roof on top of the moon. It's all unicorns and rainbows. They kiss. She says she loves him too. Chris said he'd been feeling it for a while. And Nicole's like, oh, Why didn't you tell me? Because he probably knows what's going to happen. And because he knows what's going to happen, I know what's going to happen too. And I'm like, now that he done told her he loved her, I feel like her craziness just went to 1 billion. It was probably at 1 million, but now it's probably about to be on 1 billion. Because now, oh, she knows you love her. But is that going to be enough for her? No, because we already see previews for next week. She's still going to be on that same BS, still self-sabotaging. Because if you don't get the proper help, then you're not going to have the proper relationship. I mean, is there a real proper relationship? I mean, it's unique to each person, each couple, each case. But at the same time, I'm like, Nicole, at where she's at mentally, with her body dysmorphia, with her, lack of confidence, and, just unable to look at herself and be happy with herself, that's gonna in turn make her relationship and marriage with Chris dust. And to me, I'm just like, this must be what you want, because you keep trying to make things happen for him to like walk away. But it's like, you don't want him to walk away. I'm gonna need you. That's why I said I'm gonna need you to get some help, seek a therapist, and then hopefully one day you could be with someone and not self-sabotage and see your worth. Because that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. Nothing that's Chris doing, nothing, this is on you. This is on you, Nicole. That's it. That's the end of the episode. That's it. I'm tired of these people. I'm tired of these couples. Decision day needs to come. This couples retreat next week, this better be like one of the last episodes. It better be next week's episode, and then maybe the episode before decision day, then decision day, because I don't know how much more I can take of this season, to be honest with you. But anyway, that was it, guys. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you laughed at least once, please subscribe if you didn't laugh. I understand this season's trash, but please come back next week, so hopefully I can make you laugh. And then if you have any comments about any of these people, this crazy cast, please put it down below. Be easy breezy, let me squeezy. Have a good night. I'll see you in the next one.